There we go. All right. This might be risky. DJ Hamp the Stampede.
DJ Hamp the Stampede.
Building. Let the viewers file in. I just started the live. Like, share, subscribe. How's everybody doing tonight?
Awesome.
Good. Is Thursday still thirsty?
Yeah.
Today it is.
Yeah, y'all old motherfuckers. Y'all don't be drinking on Thursday no more.
I don't. You drink
I got some wine now. Good to go.
Is Thursday the new Friday? Since COVID and all that? I feel like so many people work from home.
I work at the office.
I work from home. I'm never going back, but it's still work day.
Yeah. I feel like Thursday's a little bit easier to drink though, because you literally just got one day left.
Yeah.
Is that still the thing? I ain't gonna lie. I try to
be a Thursday.
Nah, Thursdays nights not like they used to. Going out on Thursday nights. If you were still young, hitting the club, Thursday night was the opening of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went out one Thursday. That shit was trash.
Was it younger kids out?
Snoop Dogg shit. I don't know. I should have went to U Street. Maybe like it would have had. You know what I mean? Because that U Street is in DC where Howard is. So that's a possibility that they may have been out. But I think I went to like Connecticut Ave showing that just was dry as hell.
It's not surprising, man. It ain't our speed no more.
Yeah,
No,
a good dinner, some company, maybe a little music in the background. That's all I got.
That's it. I feel like I still got it though.
Oh my god! The circle?
What you think?
Put him in a fucking bedroom.
You think so?
You still dance battling?
The last time I had a dance battle was in Florida, I think.
Oh my god!
In January.
In January, a couple months ago.
You feel me?
I got a few of them on tape. I'm holding just in case.
I think I saw some footage as well.
Yo, I'm damn near undefeated though. All right, man. This might be risky. We here. So, I've been watching the news on YouTube, whatever the case is, right? Did you see? I don't know how to say it. Did you see the person that was swimming against the females, but the person wasn't born a female? Did y'all hear about that?
I did.
Yeah.
So, we talk about like equality all the time, right? And I know women root for equality and everything should be equal, but I just don't know if it applies to things like this. So let me share my screen real quick just to add some just entire context to like what this actually looks like when men and women are competing against each other. Give me 1 second.
B, what you drinking, man?
Vodka.
Get rid of that absolute. Your stomach got to be tore up. Just get rid of it.
Don't put that on the screen no more. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely gonna be coming out your pores in the morning.
It'll tear your stomach up.
Yeah,
No, I had a steak for dinner, so I should be good.
That's not gonna cut it. You need some bread, some carbs, a potato, a steak.
Wait, B, do you eat your steak well done?
No, hell no. Oh no. No.
All right.
Medium rare.
All right.
medium rare.
Saved yourself.
Yes, sir.
Just get rid of the absolute, though.
I gotta go to the store and read it up. I just
All right, 1 second.
Yeah, but next time just say vodka. You don't have to.
Don't lift it up.
All
right. Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. All right. So first video here. So the context of this video is this gentleman was a radio personality. And he said, any women that want to come down to the ring and box me, he'll give them free tickets to a concert. Okay. So he's literally just a disc jockey, right? He maybe took some classes, but he's not a professional boxer by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh my god. This is crazy, man. Oh, somebody got him? No.
No, heck no.
He just
So look at him though.
He's giving them the business.
Not to wind her up, bro.
Look,
a headbutt. Come on, man.
He really fighting these women.
he fighting them for real.
But are these women
Hey, that's
boxers or
crazy.
athletes of any type, or they're just random women jumping in there?
So when the show he's a radio jockey, right? So on his show, they teasing him. He's a wimp, blase blah. He said, okay, come down and box me, and if you win, I'll give you free tickets. So these are women that were on the show talking trash, blase blah.
Are
So he
any,
didn't take it light whatsoever. Look,
do you know if there's any context if any of these women are athletes of any type, or just
no, they just showed up. So he let them just show up. I think as you guys saw in the beginning, it was maybe 10 of them.
Yeah. Did they have to win to get tickets, or did
They
they
had
win?
to win to get the tickets.
Okay.
yeah? I'm gonna just buy mine.
Well, I had hope for her.
All right. Here. Do you guys know Leah Riker?
No. I'm
She's
not-
regarded as probably the greatest woman boxer ever, right? And so both in Thai kickboxing and in America, as we know boxing, right? So she chose to box a man here, kickbox a man here, right? So I fast forwarded to this is only the second round, right? She's undefeated now, mind you. He's an amateur out of Australia, right? So he has some skills, but he's still regarded as an amateur. She's the best professional woman boxer, kickboxer in the world at this time. She was actually on the show. What's that show called? It's like where they measure like your punching power. Her punching power was off the charts for a woman, right? So this is the middle of the second round here.
She's in the red.
She's in the red.
She put them together a little bit until it's.
Yeah, he got one that connected.
Mm-hmm. So you see, she backed him down. Done. Right, best female fighter of all time. That was her one match with an amateur kickboxer, right? Still has skills, but his power, bone structure, bone density made a huge difference here. Fallon Fox. So Fallon Fox is right here in the black. Oh, excuse me, the lighter skinned woman in the black and white. This is actually a transgender woman. So born a man, fighting against a female here, Alana Jones. Right. I just wanted to show you a quick clip of this to see the power difference. Right. Alana can fight. I've seen her fight before. She fights pretty well. But just look at this right here. See if you guys catch it.
Mm. That wasn't even the punch. She just threw her down.
So, did you see how she threw her down like that?
With one hand.
That doesn't happen in professional mixed martial arts. You don't just toss somebody around. These are professional fighters, right? But the density, structure. I mean, you can even see the body composition, right? There's some of the women that are super, built, but by and large, their composition just isn't the same. This is actually in Connecticut here. It's two transgender boys who are run track, right? And so this is just one of the girls who competed against them, and they won the national championships as sophomores by leaps and bounds. So that's her, and that's him. Look. That shit not even close. Like, come on.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
All right. Now, here's the race here where the person won the national championship for the NCAA. This is the 500. So, if I'm not mistaken, is that 10 laps, I think, back and forth. Right? Because it's 50-50. Yeah, so I think it's 10 laps.
It's 50-meter lap, yeah.
50 meters. Yeah.
Say again?
It's a 50-meter lap, yeah.
One way.
Yep, exactly. So this is kind of towards the end of the race, just to show you the gap. Right here, right? So as you can see, I mean, we don't need to watch that whole thing, but that was what, that 2-3 seconds before the other girl came in. Like, that just doesn't make sense, right? Final clip. You may know this one. So he took it easy on her. Y'all remember this?
Yeah, he had to take them.
All right, y'all know the rest, right?
You ain't gonna show the dunk?
Should we go to the dunk?
No, don't do it.
Let's go to
Don't
the
anger.
You're right,
Don't
Sean.
anger me.
Let's go to the.
He was wearing her jersey. Like,
All right.
he's a bum. Like, oh my god.
He a bum. He made it to the league. He ain't a bum.
He was wearing the McCall jersey on the sideline, feeding the baby Similac. Like, he's a bum.
Well, you know the WNBA offseason, the season is the summertime, so he was in his off season already. He got to support his family.
No.
Yeah. And I mean, to make it to the league is no small feat.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So, all right. So we got the questions scrolling, right? Transgender women, right? Competing against women who are born female. Agree or disagree? Yeah or no? Poop, what you think?
No. So one of the clips that you didn't include, there was an ESPN special where it was the opposite, where there's a woman that transitioned into a male or to a male and competed in track and excelled. But we know in that case, it's fine if she could compete, or he in this case could compete with the level of her peers, then there wasn't really any discrepancy. But when you're talking about a man, a biological man competing with women, it's not an equal playing field at all.
Why would I include that clip though?
No, I'm just saying that there's also the opposite where there's no dispute, right? Because we know, like, if you could compete on the level, if you were naturally born a woman and you can compete on the level of a man, we're just talking about transgender people and as a whole, there's no dispute there, because we know that if you're born a woman and you compete with men, then you belong in the competition. If you're wiping these naturally born men out, then there's not anybody that's going to really dispute that. It's only on the other side where you're naturally born a male competing with women who just physically don't have the same capabilities.
So you're saying that if so, wait, are you saying it's okay for transgender men to compete with men?
No. So if you're born a woman and you transition into a male and
Yeah.
you complete, so if I decide today that I'm going to transition into a male and I decide to go play football with you, that's on me, right? And if I'm able to keep up with you guys and still play football with you, nobody's going to dispute that. The dispute comes in because we know that there is an advantage when you're born a male. You're just naturally stronger, skilled. It there's no it's not equal.
But we don't want somebody to get hurt though, right? Like, so if a woman comes, a transgender woman come, excuse me, a transgender man comes and starts to try to contend with men, the fallout's still the same, right? Like, you still can't quite.
So in the case that I'm talking about, they were able to compete and continue and did well. They've excelled. They were making, they won a bunch of competitions or track meets or whatever it was. So there's no dispute. There's no dispute there. The dispute only comes in when you know that there's a physical advantage.
I need to look that up because I don't. Was it this? Well, I
It
ain't
was
gonna
like
go
on
to- what-
ESPN one morning, like at whatever. But it was a story about this transgender girl that transitioned, and she ran track, and she excelled. But I mean, nobody's really going to have any disputes about that because she's earned her spot, or he earned his spot.
Okay, Sean, what you think?
My biggest problem, especially with the swimmer person, is that they actually competed in the men's ranks and were ranked like 460 amongst the men.
Yeah, 462, I think.
462. Then decided to switch sides. Like, one, that's foul, right? Like, you tried your shot and you couldn't cut it, and then now you trying to use your unfair advantage with masculinity or testosterone, whatever, to compete against women. I think it's wrong in general. I think it's flagrant. I think it isn't safe. It isn't fair by any kind of sports guidelines or rules of competition. Like, if you have unfair advantages, you shouldn't be allowed to compete. And that's in regular sports. That's with performance enhancing drugs. If I take something to make me better physically, unnatural, and I can't compete, I'm fined, I'm suspended, I'm cut, whatever. That same thing should apply across sports.
Right.
So if my little girl is wrestling, I have a little girl that wrestles, and she gets into a competition in high school, and a boy decides he's 165 pounds, he want to change sides and wrestle against her with all the natural testosterone and all of that, that's unfair. Why do we have sports in that case? Why even have the sport?
When you mentioned testosterone, there was also the woman that was natural born woman that was disqualified just because her testosterone levels were higher than her competitors, and she was excelling in her sport. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, it was for the Olympics. She was disqualified.
A lot of times with Olympic sports or collegiate sports or professional sports or competitions, some women will take estrogen blockers to increase their testosterone.
Right.
So you have a natural testosterone level, and if a woman is competing and it exceeds that, then that is deemed unfair competition, and you can't compete.
Right. So
but they're allowing a man to compete with women who already has a natural testosterone baseline way higher than a woman.
Right. So it has to be fair across the board. You can't exclude natural born women and say, well, no, you're just a little too masculine, or you have natural testosterone that exceeds what we're going to allow, and exclude them. But when you know that these are naturally born men that are born with advantages, allow them to compete. It has to be. That's not fair.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Christy, what you think?
I don't even think it's controversial. I feel like obviously this is not fair. Like my man said, this wasn't just any old guy. This was a guy who had a scholarship to a D1 school who competed. So he was, amongst all men in general, a more dominant swimmer. That's the thing. So he's then doing 3 years on the men's team. He takes whatever he needs to take that's a part of his transitioning process. And now he's on the women's team, and we're supposed to let it it's like, okay, that's fine. Absolutely not. And I don't think that anybody would say that it is. I don't know what the answer is to make it fair, or if it's just a matter of saying, sir, if you want to compete, you have to continue to compete in the men's sports, or you can just delay you. I'm like, he did this as a senior. Why not just delay the process one more year, graduate, and then do your transition phase? I don't know what it feels like to be in that position, to feel like, hey, you know what, I'm somebody else on the inside. But it seems like something that could have possibly just waited.
So you're saying with his transition, but he wouldn't have had an advantage. Like maybe so do you think that the transition was partly because he could take advantage of it with the swimming?
He probably felt like, he's probably felt like he was a woman on the inside for a while. I don't think that's something that people take lightly or just wake up one day and be like, you know what? Could be a woman today. I don't think anybody does that. I think it's something to think about for a long time. The timing of it is questionable, especially seeing as how she did compete on the men's team for 3 years. Why now?
Yeah. B, what you think?
So, wow. Well, so the issue that we run across is, so first off, no, I don't feel like that should be allowed. My reasoning behind that is because at the end of the day, if you were born a man, but you all right? If you were born a man, but you transfer over into a woman, or you are a woman and you transfer over into a man, the issue is you still have certain chemicals in your body that makes up what you were born as. So I'm a man, but if I get the surgery and I become a woman, there's still certain chemicals, certain chromosomes in me that will never go away. So I believe that the advantage will be heightened because although I'm not a woman, I was born a man. There's certain chromosomes, certain things within me that will just never go away. So I believe that I'm not a fan of it, especially certain categories. You're talking about putting transgender man or woman, whatever. I don't know this. I don't care what this stuff. But if you talk about putting a man who was born a man, who's now a woman competing against a woman, I would always say that's an unfair advantage because again, there's certain testosterone, certain chromosomes, certain chemical makeup within the man that will never get rid of. That he will never get rid of, although he may transition over into a woman. So I think that the competition won't be as fair. So I'm not a fan of it. Now if we talk about running or something like that, whatever. But you're talking about boxing or fighting, MMA or whatever it is. I don't know how to watch that stuff. It's too violent for me. I feel like, he would have that advantage because of what he was born.
What's the difference with running?
No, the fastest male runners are much faster than
yeah.
So okay, all right, cool.
Because running would be comparable to swimming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of your stamina. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, I just wouldn't agree with that. I would have an issue with that. Yeah,
So you made a point to say physical sports, right? Combat sports, no. You saying non-combat, maybe? Like, what's your answer?
Like tennis.
Yeah, like.
Do you think like Serena should compete against men?
Yeah, I'm gonna answer for you, B. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, Phoenix.
Yeah,
Serena.
No, the answer is no. Slim, the answer is no.
You can't try to piggyback off of Shine's answer.
Yeah, well, he gave me permission, so damn not piggyback off. At the end of the day, there's just I don't agree with it. And it's funny because when I heard about the topic, I was like, no, I just didn't agree with it just because what has to be realized is, just so all the trans may know this, if you are a man born into a woman, that makes you a trans woman. I guess I don't know. I don't keep up with that with the verb. I'm a boy. But you a boy. If you're a man and you turn into a woman, you're still a boy. If you're a woman and you turn into a man, you're still a woman. There's certain see, y'all, if y'all took science, y'all would know that there's certain chromosomes in the body and the chemical makeup that it never goes away.
Biology.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly. So
what is your answer? So if it's a violent sport, physical combat,
they should not
football.
be they should not be competing.
Okay, now what if it's tennis,
They should not
golf,
be competing.
track?
They should not be competing.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. You good? You sure?
I'm positive.
All right. Isha, what you feel?
I agree with everybody else. And in the case of the swimmer, did you see the picture where they lined up the winners? And you can visually see that this woman is still shaped like a man, and the women next to her are really smaller than she is. And the fact that she's trained with men put her at an advantage as well. So I don't think it's appropriate for transgender men to be competing with women, natural born women.
So you agree with calling people by their pronouns, though?
Absolutely.
Like whatever they want to be called at.
No.
What?
No. Child, listen, you let me come across. Oh, I got a story to share with y'all. So I got a friend, right? No, I'm gonna keep this short. I promise. Am.
Damn right.
I'm gonna keep this short, okay? I got a friend, and her cousin used to be a man. So I slipped up one day and I called her a him. Motherfucker, you's a him. You ain't a her, you's a him. What were you born with? You was born with him parts, right? Okay, you's a him. Listen, I ain't got no filter, okay? If it comes to my head, it's gonna come out my mouth. I ain't got time to walk around on the eggshells for your feelings because you decided one day you want to transition over to the other side. Now, god damn it, at the end of the day, you was born a man. You still got man chromosomes in you. Damn it, you a man. You's a man.
But B, what do you?
A man has a right to change his name to whatever he wants to change it to.
Right.
And if a man wants to be called a woman, this is a free country. I'm gonna respect her wishes and call the woman a woman.
Well, if I decide to call him a man, what he gonna do? Step?
He might.
Yeah, he's gonna be a
Well,
bad nigga.
I think that is rude. It's just rude.
It's just rude. If someone makes it known what they want to be acknowledged by, that's one thing. Like similar scenario, I was checking into a hotel at Mohegan Sun, and there was a transgender woman that was there. So, but like she still kind of had the 5 o'clock shadow. She was probably just like in her beginning stages. But I'm like, you almost go to say and I'm like, you know what? Your earrings are amazing. You know, you have to switch. Or if you're not sure what to say, then don't say anything.
Or ask.
Or ask.
Now, I did see a post on Facebook, and there was a picture that said pregnancy has no gender. Now that pissed me off.
Pregnancy has
no gender.
What does that mean?
No gender.
That's
What does
stupid.
that even mean?
Well, I believe what they were saying is in today's time and age, if you
I don't even know what that means.
Only women can get pregnant. That's it.
Right. We get that, but last year they did a study on these 2 white men who were married, and to see if one or both of the white men could get pregnant. I didn't read up on all of it, but it is something that they are.
Oh, so are you saying like the transgender? So are you saying the transgender women that transition to men that are still having babies?
Right.
Yeah. So technically, if you say that that's a man, then it doesn't have a gender anymore, right? Pregnancy.
Only women can get pregnant.
Wait. So, but you just said you call him a man out of respect until he get pregnant. Now it's a woman.
I just think that they're trying to take everything away from women. Like, even down to like, they didn't want women on the box of pads because
always.
Right. So
the silhouette.
You have that. I mean,
only women.
They gave
have a cycle.
Gave the Woman of the Year award to Caitlyn Jenner the first year they became a woman, and they ain't even be how you win Woman of the Year. You're not a woman for a year. So of course, I mean it's a slippery slope. You know what I mean?
He was a woman for 10 months.
Yeah, they got Woman of the Year.
So, but do you have to? So pregnancy has no gender. If you're calling people whatever they want to be called, and you need to acknowledge them as such, Is that a fact?
But do you have to?
I would say
You respect what people want to be called for sure. Like I have a friend who has a transgender child, and like so I haven't talked to her in like 2 years, and I'm like, oh hey, how's she doing? It was like, no, well, just so you know, it's he now. So I'm like, okay, and she's like, I know that it's gonna take you some time to get used to it. So now, like what I knew as this little girl that I watched grow up, I now have to train myself to remember to call him or whatever the new name is. But you have to respect it if that's what they got going on.
Yeah, and now pregnancy has no gender.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Nah, you can't. You gotta go with it.
I mean, you still.
Right?
I mean, if there's a transgender woman,
you're still a woman. So the woman got pregnant. So pregnancy still has a gender. You got to be a female.
Gotcha. But it's a transgender man that had
male.
the baby.
Male. So now I present as a male.
Also, it's someone who was born.
Yeah. So basically, because transgender man is a woman at birth or a female at birth, I should say.
Yeah, a transgender man.
Man is a female at birth.
Right.
With female parts, right?
So it's him being born as a woman. You looking at him, but he's really a woman, and now he's pregnant.
That's a lot.
No, poop. That would be like if you change yourself to a man, you're a transgender man.
Right, but I'm saying you present as yourself. So we're looking at you. You look like you. You have a beard. You have haircut, whatever. But then all of a sudden you're pregnant. You look like a male.
Yeah, and technically because you guys are saying we have to abide by that pronoun. Not only do I look like a man, right? You're calling me a man. Right. And then when I have a baby, that baby was born by a man.
Right.
No, that baby was born by a woman genetically.
What?
Genetically, that baby was born by a woman.
But you see, that's the one thing. That's the one thing, Sean, you could jump in, but that's the one thing that get me about women, bro. When it start to infringe on some shit y'all don't like, y'all start to goddamn play windshield wiper. You can't go back and forth.
I see where you're coming from here. Out of respect to somebody, if she wants to be called a man to her face, I'm gonna call her a man. But
we know what it is. Yeah, we know biologically what it is, but you're gonna respect what people want to be acknowledged by, right?
Go ahead, Christy. You holding your breath? What you about to say?
I'm not holding my breath. I agree with what they're saying. He had a baby, but pregnancy.
He had a baby.
Pregnant. He had a baby.
I'm turning that to a soundbite. He had a baby. So he had a baby, but he's a girl still.
Genetically, yes.
He has female genitalia.
I mean, that's the whole sex versus gender conversation, right? Like what you identify as, is it sex or is it gender? And the two things, one has a biological marker and the other has a societal marker, right? So it depends on the flavor of the month, whatever you want to be identified as, whatever pronoun you want to choose. But I agree with y'all to say that, if you're born female, if you're born with the right parts to have a baby, and you have a baby, whether you transition to the other side or not, you are considered female to have a baby. I mean, when you go in the hospital and they ask you get wheeled in, they already put the stirrups under your feet. They not checking for no other parts.
Right.
Yeah. I think that if we're allowing people to pick their own pronouns, then that grays the area for everything. Right? Because women will also say they're the father and the mother too, right?
No, that's foolish.
But women say that, right? Like they're both of these things.
Clowns
right?
say that. That's not women. That's clowns. Well, that's clowns.
Okay, clown women say that, right? And so then it goes. But now one thing is like specific to women. But if the goalpost is being shifted and it's on wheels now, do we have to accept it being on wheels? With pregnancy, with tampons, with sports, with everything.
I mean, with women's equality, LGBTQ rights have been ushered alongside women's equality.
Ushered alongside or infringing upon.
Sorry.
they've passed women's
or
equality.
infringing upon, because it seems like they're strong. they get jobs done, the LGBTQ community. However, it diminishes those things set aside for women.
But when you see the marches, when you see the feminist marches, the LGBTQ community is present. When you see the LGBTQ community, heterosexual women are present.
They support, but does it infringe?
It can't. If they support each other, how does it
But
infringe?
it's like they're taking over women's sports. They're taking over women products.
And you haven't had one woman come out,
What do you mean?
one woman, one
Yeah,
professional
I don't
athlete come
know
out
about
and say
taking
anything
over.
about it.
I mean, just making it seem
one person.
Yeah.
You like, women win. Like, what do you mean? They're not taking over. One transgender woman won a couple of races. It's not like, oh, all women are threatened. Now, it could be a slippery slope, but you keep speaking as though you feel like something is being taken away.
I think because we don't see women transitioning into men winning Men of the Year. So I believe that spot it should have been for a natural born woman. My opinion.
Right, but if we're using the term woman as gender or sex or versus, then that's the slippery slope. If you allow someone to be called a woman, then they're up for nomination for Woman of the Year.
I wouldn't have, you know what? I don't know that I would have even had quorums about a transgender woman winning Woman of the Year if they actually done something, right? To deserve and earn that spot.
Like, aside from just being.
Right. Yeah. Like, so if this was this, I would have been more comfortable with, what's her name? Laverne Cox. If she won, she's done more, right? I might be more accepting of that. You just don't get. When Caitlyn won Woman of the Year, it was she's done nothing. What is she waiting for? Right. So if we're gonna allow you to come into our space of womanhood and we're accepting you, you still gotta do women shit. Like, you still gotta do something. You have to show that you've earned this accolade, whatever it may be. Now in sports, that's not the same. Where you're just talking about, but she didn't do anything.
I'm just confused because the push for inclusivity with the LGBTQ community has been backed by heterosexual women. It's not backed by men, right? Because we get called all types of homophobes and all everything for voicing an opinion. So it's been ushered alongside. That was my point, Isha. That's why I don't think they infringe on it, because they've been side by side the whole time, the whole fight. And now, here we are.
But do you think it's because women are more nurturing and accepting?
I'm sure that has something to do with it. I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
And feel less threatened, because I feel that if a transgender male went and dominated a male sport, y'all would be much more in a tizzy because it would be more threatening to you.
Well, I disagree with that. I don't know if we'd be in a tizzy. It would make us compete.
Yeah.
Because if a woman came in to the NBA and dropped 30, we'd be like, whoa. Wait a minute. Somebody got to play some defense next game, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's
definitely gonna adapt him up.
We're gonna make sure that shit don't ever happen again, though.
right.
Like that 30, that person getting cut, and then we're gonna put Bron on her next game.
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, and that happens at the lowest level at the LA Fitness gym, right? A girl started dropping buckets. Nah, switch. I got her.
Yeah, you gotta switch. Like, you know.
Right.
But at the highest level of sports, I think it's impossible for a woman to dominate the highest level of male sports.
Yeah.
Like, even when Serena was on I think it was Letterman, she said men's tennis is a totally different game. It's not even the same game.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, just the speed of the ball. It's just
Back in the day, Billie Jean
Mhm.
King, wasn't it her? And she played.
Yes, it was.
And won.
She did.
It wasn't
And
so
John McEnroe got in trouble for comparing Billie Jean King and Serena Williams He said Serena will be ranked 200 in the nation, or 200 in the world as a
Yeah.
men's competitor if she were to cross over into men's tennis.
Right. So there's that one unicorn, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's not the
And
norm.
also, Serena would beat the Snoop Dogg shit out of Billie G. King too, though. Like that's
Absolutely.
that's
Different
the
day.
other.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Christy.
No, I was saying it's a different day and time. The game
Yeah,
has
like
changed.
so I don't know. It just weird. So East, just let me get this straight, bro.
Do you call her bro?
Yeah, I mean she with all the pronouns and shit, so I just figured I'd throw it in there.
sis.
Sis, okay. So you good with calling them what they want to be called, but only women can have babies. I just want to be clear.
Genetically, only women can produce children.
Okay. And you feel like, even though, because Sean is right, the marching side by side is there, but it's all people can use, people are over. I mean, kingdoms in the past have been overthrown by their closest friends, closest associates. John Gotti, Sammy the Bull. It could be the close person next to you. So I think there's some truth to what Ish is saying. I don't know.
Yeah, in response to the question, it can't be men that come up and say, "Wait a minute, that dude or that transgender woman cannot compete." It has to be women to come up and say,
Right.
It can't be men, because we're gonna give this flashlight, or you in the closet, or you homophobic, or you this and that. You can't talk about him. It has to come from women.
Yeah.
But
Why?
women are more accepting and more nurturing.
But you guys are being replaced, Christy. Why?
It's ridiculous. Nobody's being replaced. I was born a woman. I'm a woman. Hear me roar. Like, I haven't seen a transgender on a tampon commercial. Like, what are y'all talking
No,
about?
but I would
ain't seen
feel
the
away.
tampon
I've
commercial.
trained my entire life for a sport, and I've excelled my entire life as a woman. And then here comes John, that's now Jackie, and I'm like, I worked my entire life for this, and they beat me.
Absolutely,
feel
because that's
away.
unfair and that's completely ridiculous that is even happening.
I'd feel away. He got it like you.
Absolutely, but all this other stuff, I just don't feel like my womanhood is being threatened.
But your roles, though,
I
Chris.
feel like the state of femininity is under attack.
No.
Genders are coming. Like, no.
But when you're talking about in the world of sports,
Yeah, sports is the one thing that's determined by physical ability.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous for men to compete, or a transgender woman to compete against natural born women.
Yeah. I think. Go ahead, Poop.
No, like I was having the conversation with someone about, remember the bathroom thing was an issue a few years back.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would prefer if it's a transgender woman to come use the bathroom with me. And men were so up in arms, like, well, I don't want my daughter and my wife could be in jeopardy and da-da-da. But it would be more so that if I'm a transgender woman, right, and I come in, y'all are at the stall, and I come in and I lift my skirt up and I'm at the urinal with y'all would feel away. Y'all are not going to be, you're not going to be comfortable with that. If I walk into the men's bathroom looking like this and y'all are at the urinal and I come in the urinal and I lift up my skirt and I lift my leg up or whatever y'all do at the urinal, you are going to feel more uncomfortable than if you just let me go into the women's bathroom.
First of all, Slim, we're not dogs. We don't lift up our legs.
We don't.
I don't know what y'all do. Whatever you do, you unzip your zipper, whatever pee-hole, whatever y'all got going on in there. I don't know. Whatever you do.
You lift up your legs, something ain't going right.
Yeah,
you would feel more uncomfortable with me coming in as a woman, using the urinal than it would.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
We much prefer that you.
So you would prefer if I had a penis and I walked in and you're using the urinal and I'm just as a woman, you'd rather that than
what's up, nigga? What's up, nigga? Like,
and we have daughters too, so
that person that's using the restroom is more in danger than they are to use the woman's bathroom.
I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about my daughters, my wife.
Why do you think that they want your daughter?
I don't know.
It's so offensive to have the connection of pedophilia.
Yeah.
Well, see, y'all are thinking in a perfect world where every man or every transgender woman is on the up and up and is really fighting for the cause. What about the creeps who just want to throw a wig on and go into the women's restroom? See, men think like that.
No, most of the time when somebody's molested or any of that stuff, it's your uncles. It's somebody in your family. It's somebody in your house. It's not some random stranger. I feel like it's such a false narrative to even say, oh, we don't want the transgender in the female bathroom because our women are in danger. They don't want you. Like,
Well, I don't believe it's a false narrative, and I do agree with you about the majority of where pedophilia happens, right? I do agree with that. But as a man with daughters, you want to eliminate all possibilities. You don't want the chance.
it's probably just a regular man who dresses as a
Exactly.
man, who walks,
Exactly.
who's just gonna go up in the bathroom
Right.
as a man and snatch your daughters.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah,
And-
we're
and
not
then-
saying.
Probably.
Yeah, we're not. See, I think you guys misunderstand. We're not oblivious to what you're saying, right? There's still a level of comfortability that's just not there, right?
So
And
you
I
feel
think
like
that's
penises
okay
are a
too,
threat.
huh?
Penises are a threat.
Yeah. But yeah, we get it. We know where molestation comes from, right? We know how it happens by and large. But I think that these things still matter to us, because it only takes one time.
Right.
You
And
know?
and I agree with you, Christy. I really do. But as a man, you want to try to eliminate all possibilities that for it to happen in general. So I don't just not protect my daughter at the public restroom. It's everywhere. So I don't turn it off and say, "Oh, well, this is a unisex bathroom. Go ahead, baby, use the bathroom. It's no problem." No, I'm not. I'm not in favor of that. And that's not to discredit anybody who is, really fighting for the cause and really on the LGBTQ spectrum and all of that. I'm not disagreeing with their rights, or I don't want to alienate any of that. But
So, Sean, you're saying for people that might um, abuse the option to go in as a transgender person. So if you decided, or whatever, a random man decides to go in as long as they're dressed up in a certain way that they could use the bathroom, and you're thinking about those risks, not necessarily a true transgender person.
of course, I mean, because that's what criminals do. Criminals take advantage of the rules, right?
Yeah.
They find their way around the system. They find a way to maneuver. And who's to say anyone in that space, that sick mind space, is going to do that? We don't have a parameter to put in place other than the one we have, where if you're a man, you go in the men's room, you're a woman, you go in the women's room. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a unisex bathroom in between. Cool. But if we're only going to say it's going to be a men's room and a women's room, and everybody's allowed into the women's room and everybody's allowed into the men's room, depending on what they identify as, that's problematic.
Yeah. That's a fact, though.
I mean, that to me, at least, that makes more sense. Is that you're not concerned actually about
the transgender.
You're
Right.
concerned about somebody abusing
Right.
that
Yeah.
option.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just abuse, right?
Yeah.
And people take advantage and manipulate. And so how do you guard against that? If everything's just okay and everything's so fluid, I feel like we get in a slippery slope, and that becomes dangerous. Because then what are the guidelines? Where's the accountability at a point? And Christy, I think you're right in terms of, like, yeah, women aren't losing ground on every single thing, but sports matter, entertainment matters to me, and I think that women do lose roles to transgender women. The sports are not fair at all, and it can be quite dangerous to B's point with some of these sports. And I think that, do you want to lose anything at all? Like, is it okay to just sacrifice those things? I don't know if women should just, because then what if the transgender women, they could take over particular sports for women? It don't take that many.
I think we're all on the same page with sports.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That it's completely unfair and ridiculous.
So you would be okay with losing sports?
No, it's sports.
No.
It's the one thing that is decided by your physical makeup.
But I'm asking, you would be okay with losing sports?
She said
No.
Okay, so you would have an issue if there was a transgender woman on every WNBA team, if they were doing the swimming and women and winning and track and winning.
We just talked about that. Like,
No, I'm asking you, because you said you said earlier it's not like they're like just overtaking women. But I'm asking, in a hypothetical, would you be fine with if that did happen?
In sports, no.
Yes. Okay. So you're saying there's still a point to it where you'd be like, hell no,
Yeah.
this is too much.
Correct. In sports, it's completely unfair, and it just negates the entire purpose of the competition.
Right. Or even having a male and female team. If that's the case, then you would just have unisex teams.
Yeah, you see that they have that in the 4x4 and the
Yeah.
relays in track.
Hmm.
Have you guys ever watch it in the Olympics? There's like a the unisex teams, two
Yeah.
men, two women, and it looks like I wish I pulled one of those up, but it's amazing. Like the men run almost 10 seconds faster. Like it's amazing, but in how they plan it, even our best women, it just is no match.
Yeah.
But yeah, look them up when you get a chance. It's in the Olympics. We won the last one in the 4x4. So, any final thoughts on the topic? Everybody good? Isha, you straight with everybody having babies?
Women have babies.
I like it, man. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Final topic for the night. Let me share this. So, people got friends, that they lean on, that they talk to. Sometimes their parents, sometimes mentors, sometimes even what's the word? When people go therapists, right? But I think oversharing is a thing. So should you be sharing what happens in your relationship with other people? Should you be sharing what happens in your relationship with other people? Sean, what you think?
Yes, and it depends. There's some unspoken things that amongst your friends that you don't talk about. You don't talk about personal intimacy with your homies, right? About your woman who you take personally, right? So you don't talk about that. But yeah, I think you should. If it's your friends and they are like-minded and they are in the right headspace, not just somebody trying to pull you back to the streets or to the club or something like that. Yeah, you should because you don't know everything, and somebody might be going through something in their relationship that you could learn from, that you can take pieces from to adjust and make yours better. But if you just assume like women talk more than men do about their relationships with their friends, but if you assume that, oh no, I can't say nothing to somebody, then you don't even know your homie could be going through the same thing, and y'all could come up with a like-minded response that might benefit your relationship. So yeah, I do. Except for the personal intimacy stuff, because then you put your friends on the spot in front of people, and then that's wrong.
Hmm. Okay. Poopy, what you think?
No, I don't think that you should ever share. When you're talking about you're talking about like turmoil, not just. I don't believe in sharing your personal business with your friends or anybody. I think, I don't know if it's the way that I was raised, probably like most of us, what goes on in this house stays in this house. Like we need to handle it in house. Um, I've never badmouthed any person that I was in a relationship for that particular reason because when I forgive you tomorrow, I don't want everybody looking at you funny when you go to the cookout. We know that's a thing. So there's some people that, can just remove the bias and allow me to vent. And then when I take the person back the next time, they don't treat them any different. But a lot of times those relationships change. So whatever I went through, I usually kept it in house. I'm not sharing. And I think for me, it's a deal breaker when you start to share things with your friends and, you start talking because one, you make yourself look foolish. You make yourself look foolish. I think that, and it breaks down the foundation of your union, whatever it is that you have going on, marriage or relationship. So no, if you need to talk to somebody, talk to God, talk to your therapist. I don't think certain things should be shared with friends.
Okay. B, what you feel?
Well, I can't give a yes or no answer. I would just say it depends. There are certain things that we all go through that we are going to need that person to vent to. So if you're saying, oh, well, don't share it, I'm the type from personal experience, there's an old saying in the South, shit comes out. So if you're going through certain things, eventually it has to come out. You're going to need that person to vent to. I would say though, be careful of what you share and to whom you share it to. Um, again, there's just certain things you go through. You're gonna want to share it because eventually you're gonna have to get it out. I mean, that's for any human. I would just say again, just be careful what you share, and just be careful of whom you share it to.
Okay. Christy,
I
what you
co-sign
think?
everything he just said. There's a time and a place. You got to know who you're talking to, and do it with purpose. Sometimes you need to vent. Sometimes you're actually asking for counsel, but you need to know who you can trust, who the right person is to speak to with those things. And like Poopy was saying, that like you're going to forgive this person. This is somebody you love. You know the ins and outs. Your family is not going to feel that type of way. It will not be the same for them to just move past it. They don't love your significant other like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isha, what you think?
I think that you should know who you're talking to before. What you share depends on who you're talking to. So I have some friends that I can tell anything to, and I will tell anything to, and vice versa, just based on the experience that I've experienced in life and that they've experienced in life, and they can, help me get through that situation. I think that everyone needs somebody to speak to something about, and also the Bible talks about wise counsel. So if you have somebody that's going to pour into you and let you know when you're wrong or when you're right, then you need to get that bounce those ideas off of people.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
again for being my wise counsel. I love you, brother.
No doubt. I love you too. Uh,
You're supposed
yeah.
to get
I
the
kind of agree with Poopy though. No, I don't think you should. I mean, things that are at a certain degree, like never ever. I think that should be worked out between you and yours. I think things that are more light, more easy for somebody to disagree with but move forward from, I think yes. But like Christy said, that love ain't the same. So if you tell me something, I'm gonna forever see it, honestly. And I believe in judging. So people gonna get judged for the things that they done. And I don't know if people ever look past it. I just think it's a slippery slope.
Well, I think there's a way to deliver it. I mean, there's a way to deliver any message. I mean,
Hell
if
no.
you no,
Hell
No,
it
no.
is, it
not when
is.
it's emotional and you start saying anything, because
Not even
Well,
people
poop
well,
don't
poop
see,
always tell
poop.
the
so
full
look.
story as well. So they might tell part of the story because they're in their emotions. So now they telling
Well,
their
then you're
friends.
not being honest. Then that's
Well,
again,
but
that's why.
that happens. But that
But
happens, and so
Yeah.
next time y'all go to the cookout, the argument's over. Now y'all mutual friends are treating you different, but it's like you ain't tell the full story.
well, that's what I said. That's what I said. I said there's a way to deliver the message. There's a way to handle beef in your relationship with tact, with
Hmm.
respect. There's
Right,
a
What
way
they
to
got to
do
do with
that
telling somebody else though?
right.
because
But
you
even
should because you shouldn't be delivering your beef in your relationship to your friends or your family in disrespect or
right.
To your
one-sided or
to your
jaded.
partner, yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Then that's the
Hold on.
wrong way to do it. Then you should not do it.
But
But
even
Bro,
Slim said
if I
there's
come to
friends. Slim said there's friends that you have that can take a non-judgmental stance. So
Yeah.
what's wrong with talking to those people about what's going on?
because it's
But
not
those
true.
are very few and far in between
what's not
Yeah.
most
true?
of the times.
Yeah, every people gonna judge. I mean that's natural, and you should judge. But if you come to me, bro, in calmness and say some such and such somebody cheated on you, right? Or in some way, whatever, had a nigga in your house, there ain't no way you're gonna be able to tell me that in just, and I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. Well, next time I see her, nah, that's not. It's not gonna be. It's forever gonna be changed.
Well,
There's certain things
that's
you
something
can't come
very
back from.
that's something very specific to say to
I'm
somebody
just that's why you
in
said
your house.
like
I'm just talking about normal relationship beef that happens
Right.
weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, whatever it is. I
yeah.
should be able and you know me, B, you know me a little bit. Like I have plenty of flaws. So you already know if I'm coming to you with something, you already know what I'm guilty of, right? Because you
Yeah.
know me. So if I'm delivering you a message, I'm just bouncing it off you like, am I tripping if I do this, do this, do this?
Yeah.
Right? Like there's a way to say it. There's a way to handle your discrepancies with tact. And
Yeah.
if I'm getting, what's the word I'm looking for? If I'm getting like barbecue cookout like beef from your family, that means you didn't tell them the whole story. That means you
Exactly.
shouldn't deliver that message to them.
Yeah.
But if you can handle that, and you can handle that with maturity, like to your family, your friends, or someone who respects you in that way, then you should be able to bounce ideas off somebody.
Question: do you think the men ain't shit narrative though doesn't allow us the same grace? Because I feel like when we do something, it's the dog, men ain't shit, blah blah blah. But like if you do something, even our families would be like, nigga, you was like, I don't know. I just feel like it could be slightly uh uh you know different depending on who does what.
No, I
I
disagree.
agree.
I feel like men are given grace a lot of
Mhm.
times. Like men mess up, that's just men. Sometimes you just gotta mature, just stick it out. Women are almost encouraged to deal with more BS from men. So I actually completely
Absolutely.
agree.
No, I mean, I mine was more so a question. So yeah, how you said it, Christy, you might be right actually.
Yeah, there's definitely some truth to that. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say that's complete. I mean, I've had experience in the past where I've messed up in a relationship, and people, my family and friends, point the finger directly to me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you fucked up. You
Right.
Yeah,
did
Mm-hmm.
but what
something
are
you
they
weren't
telling
supposed to do.
her?
But women definitely, I know, like as I was going through they were like, "Well, girl, he kind of a good man. Sometimes you just gotta deal with it. You gotta stick it out." I'm like, but I'm sad. Like this, I'm not happy. Like there was like, but girl, he take care of the kids. But see, it's about the presentation that I put up.
Right.
I'm never going to talk about what goes on in my house. So whatever the public sees, it's always going to be a positive image of my spouse. I'm not about to make myself look like a clown anyway. So what do I look like going to talk against my partner? So
Hey,
the image that I created of this partner is going to be a positive one. So women tend to be like, girl, but maybe you should just stick it out. No,
hey, I'm trying.
See, that's not always a good thing to present like an image amongst your
not.
amongst your friends and family. Like
It's not.
I try
It's
to
a
be.
lesson that was learned. But I did that. It's a lesson that's learned. I'm not putting a cover up for nobody. Nope. This part that it they're he ain't living right, whatever it may be. But when you do that, when you try, so it's twofold, right? So I was saying like what goes on in this house stays in this house, and when you go out and you always continue to present an image that may not necessarily be true, it can have a reverse effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Hmm. So, okay. So I think I'm just deciphering in my head. So what Christy said, that's probably true, right? But I still think men are more easily bad mouthed, right?
Because
But
that's
when a woman stay, what I'm saying is, so they could be like, talk shit about the man, right? But to Christy's point, when a woman stays, they're like, yeah, like what Boopy
So
said, they
support
still
it.
find some silver lining in
Yeah.
that, right? But the man can still get bad mouth. I think it's right. If a woman messes up in the same way men do, or what's known to believe to be men do, then there is no bounce back. Like
There's no
if a
grace.
man keeps her, he bugging.
There's no grace.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
Well, I
grace.
mean, a lot of it comes down to what the complaints come out of. A lot of men don't complain. If you show up to Thanksgiving with a different woman that was at Thanksgiving last year, your uncles, your cousins, somebody, what happened to such such so? Oh man, I messed that up. You know what I mean? I dropped the ball on that, or she ain't here no more. So there's never really like any nuanced conversation, but past that point, it's just, oh
yeah.
yeah, you fucked up. You ain't doing what you're supposed to.
You can't
You know
show
what I
up
mean?
to
Or men
Thanksgiving
will,
dinner with multiple men as a woman.
I
Mm-mm.
feel like men will be like, man, she was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Finish
and
the
then
fuck
and that
out.
was it. And then
Yeah.
Chrissy, that'll be the end of the conversation. Man, she was
yeah,
tripping.
I can
yeah,
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. If my sister popped up with two different niggas, 2 different years, that might be a little something that we'd be like, "What's up with you?"
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
You're not bringing nobody. Women don't bring anybody around their family ever because you just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You
not the
think?
same. My brother came 4 Thanksgiving in a row, and he's probably watching, but he came 4 Thanksgivings in a row with different women. I'm like, nigga, stop bringing people to Thanksgiving. Stop. Please stop. I'm not meeting nobody else. I don't want nobody else on my Instagram asking me what's going on. No, like stop inviting these women to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he watering down the
Like
day
you
off.
letting everybody taste my good green beans. Like, no, this is not for everybody. This is an exclusive dish. Like,
Ain't no such thing as good green beans, but I feel you.
you bugged out.
And
Him, I'm gonna send you back. I'm gonna send some green beans back with him so he can share it with you.
I don't eat vegetables. You don't send them to ham though. You don't gotta save them for me.
Yeah, he don't eat vegetables. He's a weirdo. He like a gremlin. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's safe. I think I'd rather be safe than sorry, and I don't need that my wife or whomever being judged unnecessarily. I think that high level stuff. I think as I'm thinking through what you guys are saying, I think Sean's right. I think you guys are right in terms of like high level stuff that we talk about, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, high level meaning not, kind of superficial in a way.
Yeah, I understand.
You know,
surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's important to be genuine amongst your friends and family too. Like who I am is who I am, regardless of where I am.
Yeah.
So my woman is the same way. So if you see us, and we might not put on the Huxtable face while we out in public. If we got a problem, we might address it. We might talk about it or something like that. But I don't try to put on fronts to make it seem like something we not. That way, if it is a problem, it's not like what? Where the problem come from? Y'all always look like this and that, this and that. No.
Right.
Yeah.
So it looks crazy after.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest thing. Keep it real, right? So that you don't get caught fronting or you don't have to front. You know what I mean? There was one time, it was me, Sean, his lady, my wife. We have a 4-way argument. Damn the card game. We arguing like a motherfucker. Everybody leave mad. I left and we was at my house. I just walked in and sat on the porch. Because Sean and Alana left. I said, fuck, I'm leaving too. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? But
and I'm not saying that's the best practice, right? But it's genuine.
Yeah.
And then when you see people, you understand, like, oh
no,
no,
what it is, right?
Yeah. It's not. It ain't fake. It ain't fronting. Like we're gonna get it off. We're gonna be as respectful as possible, but we're gonna get it off.
Right. It definitely is. I know moving forward, I would never do that again. Like, so y'all play football. I've changed. I've gone to counseling. But there was times I drove my truck on the football field. Like, nigga, you said you was at this place. We got like middle of the game, truck in the field.
Alert button, huh?
Like, now I'm over here looking crazy because like nobody knows the backstory. Like it just looks like I'm this crazy person because we don't share. Like it always looks perfect.
Well,
so now it just looks like now I'm bugging out.
Bruh.
Listen. You can't drive the truck on the field and not look like a crazy person.
Right. You at the game that time? No.
Huh?
I don't know if you were at that game, but
I wasn't there. But
I definitely drove the truck in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
Stop the game.
Yeah, you not sharing don't make you look not crazy. That's
on the field make you.
No,
that's a
it was
football
too
field.
far. It went too far. Now I got to drive on the field.
So I have a question. So if you're like contemplating divorce, you wouldn't speak to nobody about it? Like what's going on?
I got divorced. Nobody even knew. I think some people still think I'm married. I think some people still think I'm married. It's been 5 years.
Yo, Poop. For your last 3 comments,
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you though.
You ain't know?
Like, yeah, that was a thing. Like, cause I don't live at home.
You didn't know, right?
Nah, not really.
Because niggas we on vacations together. Like they just,
Yeah, that's weird. Y'all weird as shit.
Nah,
what was your question, Eve?
Like, if you're contemplating divorce, you wouldn't go speak to your homeboy like, "Listen, I'm about to walk out."
I think we have conversations like that. Like, yo, bro, this shit getting hectic.
Of course we do. And I've gotten counsel in front of the board. You know what I mean? I've gotten counsel in front of the board. Just because, you may think one way in your head, but your friends who are your real friends have perspective on your life too.
Yeah.
So that's like sharing with your friends what goes on in your relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're right. I think men, in terms of like, I think we probably don't share like infidelity type shit. I think that's kind of maybe where we might draw the line.
Okay.
Because your man gonna be like, you stand like that's not a thing. Like they be
Yeah.
like, bro, you short. Like we can't. Oh, we don't understand that.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You know
see,
what I'm
and women
saying?
would accept that and
Yeah.
take and keep them. Yeah.
Yeah. So to Christy's point, right? But we can't unsee that. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? We think it's unrealistic for a man to stay
Yeah.
if his wife or a girl has sex with somebody. We just can't unsee that shit. You know? Right, B?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have to kill someone, child. No, you got to go. You got to go.
Don't go to jail, B. Don't go to jail, man.
Yeah,
Stay
don't
free.
go to jail, bro. Yeah.
No.
Damn, man. Hey, B.
Yes, sir.
I had an epiphany tonight.
All right.
That's the 6th epiphany we had in the last 2 weeks.
What was
My bad. Go ahead.
what was the epiphany?
What Christy said. I thought my question I had an answer for, but when she answered, I'm like, damn.
Oh, okay, Christy, we love you.
Yeah. Damn, that was true. Like shit.
Yeah.
Out there, the grace extent. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, we can get bad mouth, but it's okay if they stay with us.
Oh, also,
Yeah.
and y'all know, the CDC has said that Black men we're the most active fathers in our of all the races.
I
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah, we
I
knew
believe
that.
that.
Yeah.
Black men.
Yeah, definitely. When we
Hamp, I
there.
love you, man. I love you, man. We need to go out this weekend. I love you.
Thanks,
I don't know
B.
too many like bum dad. I don't think I know any. I honestly can't name one.
Yeah. I was talking about
But they're like bum, like completely absent.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the kid bum dance.
yeah.
And it could be that I live in this bubble, but I just don't know any.
No, it's really Generation X.
Agreed.
Like our parents, like
80s babies.
those are the dads. Sorry, go ahead, Poop.
Yeah, us 80s babies, a lot of the kids or men that grew up in the 80s, maybe early 90s, we lived a different lifestyle. So we wanted to do the complete opposite of the way that we were raised.
Exactly, yeah. How
So
you saw it.
we're seeing parents showing up on like my kids never went on a field trip and didn't have a parent present.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember not that I wasn't loved. My mom I never had a parent on a field trip. That just never was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
different.
it's a
had
lot.
to work.
Yeah, they had to work. I mean, we have to work and whatever. You know, we do that too, but it was just a different time. Us latchkey kids, you know, I think we pour into our kids more than what we need to.
And it's different now. You can't hide. Like
Yeah.
if you got a 14-year-old kid and his dad is a deadbeat or disappeared, he can find them on social media.
Yeah.
You can't hide.
Yeah.
So that has a bit of accountability with it too. It's like you can't just disappear. You're living 25 minutes away from your kid and don't see him.
Yeah.
Somebody know who you are.
Right.
Somebody's a friend, somebody's a mutual somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
fact.
secret families were a thing, you know, of the 80s,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I have a sister 6 months younger than me, which I only found out through MySpace, through social media. When MySpace became a thing, I remember meeting her at like a hotel one time with my dad. You know, Black people have these stories. But I have a sister that's 6 months younger than me, and it happens.
Yeah.
But I didn't know or be able to connect until, you know, like you said, social media, that it changes the game.
Yeah. Word. Interesting, man. Dope perspective, man. I learned something tonight, so I appreciate that. Or I changed my perspective. I could see more clearly now. So that's dope. That's the reason for this show, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I didn't even mention the links earlier. So we're on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We have merch. Everything's in the description. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and Twitch. Twitch been growing also. So, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. And as you like it, it expands us in the algorithm so more people see us, right? So that's what we want. 'Cause I think this is edifying and educating. And I think that you can learn something. Oftentimes people get embarrassed up here too, but it is what it is. That's the point. Might be risky. So I don't really mess with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. Isha, final thoughts.
Only women can have kids, and get you a trusted friend that you can share your business with.
B.
If you were a man and you transition over to a woman, you're still a man. If you was a woman, you transition over to a man, you're still a woman. And I still might call you what you was originally born as. And don't try to fight me because I'm hard to beat. I love y'all. Have a great night.
Christy.
Respect people. Call them what they want to be called. Only women have babies. And transgender women, it is unfair for them to compete in women's sports.
All right, Sean.
Men, be honest in your conversations with your friends about your relationships. Be honest. Women, stand up for your sports. Stand up, be competitive in your own competitive sports. Y'all go chase wisdom and knowledge and see y'all next week.
Poop.
Yeah. I'll piggyback off of Sean. If you're going to share stories, share the truth. And definitely, if you're transgender, just cross sports off your list.
Indeed. I'm not going out my way to disrespect anybody, but I also believe in my First Amendment right? So I think that I'm allowed to also say what I want to say, right? As respectful as possible and believe what I want to believe and what I know to be the truth. So I think your truth is yours, mine is mine, and we're gonna have to agree to disagree. So I call a dog, a duck, and a spade, and whatever else comes with that. I think that women should be protected, specifically in sports, because sports have such a long arm. They reach so much further. Like Serena Williams is big because she can play the sport at such a high level. When you put inequalities or you put advantages over them, then what? Now we lose Serena Williams, right? Obviously, but like we'll lose those opportunities for women, right? Because not a woman that was swimming so fast that kept up with the person, we're not talking about her because she damn near broke an NCAA record, but nobody cares about that, right? And I have daughters, only, so I just think that it's key to kind of just protect it, however we see fit. So, like, share, subscribe. Damn. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.